Hello again, everybody. This is Craig Evans of Autism Hangout, and thank you for tuning in to another installment in our special report series. And one of the things I love so much about my job is that when I find something interesting about autism and I put a report out there, it's usually only 2 or 3 days later that I'll get a comment from somebody in the Autism Hangout community that says, you know, that information was very interesting, but there's more to the story. And I would like to bring that more to the story to the audience that you've got on Autism Hangout. And with me today is one such person. So Autism Hangout, I would like you to welcome Kathy Radziunas. Welcome to Autism Hangout, Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay, Skype has been a little glitchy today, so we're going to go ahead and give this a try. But Kathy was responding to a special report that we'd had about aerobics for kids with autism. And in her email to me that she said, I have over the past 10 years had the great joy in establishing recreation as a tool for the folks on the autism spectrum to learn and practice social skills. I have developed a level system that provides the participants with choices as to how much they hang out with neurotypical friends. So that's what this report's going to be about. But before we get to that, Kathy, I'd like to ask you, how did you first get into working with our special kids with autism?
I think I was kind of kidnapped.
Kidnapped?
We had a young man that had PDD that was participating in a program, and unfortunately, lack of understanding from another parent, they complained that he was running around too much, and they complained to the director of our Park and Rec department. At the same time, I was just running a nature program, this part-time day mom, and he found out I was a recreation therapist and asked if there's any programming I could do for this young man. Mm-hmm. I met with the mom and the young man, and I fell in love with them and started with one program, 6 kids, and grew to, we have almost 19 adaptive programs now.
Wow.
And our all the rest of our programs are fully inclusive, which means that anybody can come in and we'll support and make modifications as necessary.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this program now. What is it that is the program itself, and how does it work?
Well, we developed a 3-tier system so that folks who have disabilities and challenges have the full choice. We have some programs that are segregated because some folks don't want to hang around with us tippies. And I developed the adaptive section of the program, and those programs usually have less people, usually just about 6 participants, a modified environment, less stimulating, less things on the wall, things like that. But the biggest difference in the middle section there, the adaptive programs, is that we use peer mentors. And I use same-age peer mentors. That means that typical peers, you know, a 7-year-old is hanging out with a 7-year-old instead of maybe a 16-year-old who might be a little too big brother-ish nurturing kind of thing. That branched off into a whole new world of success for us. I found that the peer mentors from ages, the youngest we use is 3 years old, if you can believe it, through 6-year-olds, they just come to the class and participate as if they were taking the class and just vicariously model social skills and program skills. Mm-hmm. When the mentors get to be around 7 through 12 years old, I kind of give them a little bit of information about maybe one of the kids who need a little support. I don't give them clinical information, but I tell them, you know, Tom doesn't use his words a lot, but that's okay. He likes to listen to you. So while you're waiting in line, tell him about your day. Tell him how much you love gym class today. And it just really started to click. When the mentors get to be teenagers, I kind of challenge them a little bit more. I give them assertiveness training. And they are given permission to give some of that feedback that us parents, teachers, and therapists can't get away with. Mm-hmm. So, you know, they might say, if you make the waitress mad, we're going to wait a long time for our food. Mm-hmm. Or if you keep doing that, a girl's not going to talk to you. And it really works well. It's done in a very supportive way, but they do give the feedback straight on, and that program is hugely successful with the teens. Mm-hmm. And then the final level is if the kids want to participate in what we call a typical or a non-modified program, that mentor can go with them and support them until they're independent, and then I teach them to, titrate their support off, and then if the participant wants to, they can be independent participating in any program we have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how many years have you been doing this now?
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years. And in that period of time, how many success stories do you think you have? Are we talking 10 or 20 or 100?
Well, depending on what you think of success, if you're talking about kids who took the guts to go and to do full inclusion, probably 20.
Okay.
That's a real big step. But we have had success stories. That first child that I talked about, that I was running around in the class that started everything, he was always in the forefront of trying all the new classes, and his mother decided he was going to try the typical flag football class. And normally what I would do is get a mentor. I would, let the staff know what worked for him, what kind of modifications he needed. So I went to the flag football class, and I was prepared to do all my little spiel. And the young man came off and out of the parking lot, and the guys called him over. Hey, Paul, we're waiting over here. The coach isn't ready yet. And without me, these kids included him. And it took 9 years, but they didn't care that he might have had autism or might not have had autism. All they knew is that he could run fast, and they wanted him on their team.
That's a wonderful success story. How would you define success in this program? What would you coach parents or some of the other participants to be looking for that would be defined as success?
I think 2 areas. Number one would be that everybody is comfortable coming in and registering for a class, whatever level that they want to participate at. Mm-hmm. And the other success story is to see the kids really grow in their social skills and their program skills.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of that. I've seen huge gains in that.
One of the things I know that you said is your personal goal is to make recreation fun for all. And that's a very noble thing. Okay, Kathy, how can people find out more information about you or your program? How can they get in touch with you?
Email would work best, and that is KJ, R-A, D as in David, Z as in zebra, at snet.net. Or they can check out the Wallingford Park and Rec Department. It's in Connecticut online.
Okay, I will put this contact information at the end of our conversation. So Kathy, thank you for writing in. Thank you for being a part of the Autism Hangout community and adding the rest of the story here to make all of the stories just that much more cohesive. And if something new happens, if you come up with a new discovery, I hope you'll come back and tell us about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, and thank you, Autism Hangout audience. I'll be back again soon with another special report.